Welcome to the Black Sparrow Media Internet Broadcast Network.
You are listening to Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a podcast about Linux, open source, and amateur radio, for everyone. Now here are your hosts, Cheryl, W5MOO, Russ, K5TUX, and Bill, NE4RD.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. You have tuned in to episode number 580 of Linux in the Ham Shack, the most terrific amateur radio podcast on the internet. We thank you for being here, and you've joined us for our short topics episode, so we're going to dive headlong into those. But before we do, we'll introduce ourselves. For the On Assignment Cheryl, W5MOO, I'm Russ, K5TUX.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD.
All right, so yeah, we're already into it. Off and running like a turd of hurdles. So, so I guess we'll start with our amateur radio segment, since we don't have a lead topic and almost never do, but every once in a while one creeps in there. You know, it's weird, but none tonight. So the first thing is a topic we talked about not too long ago and interviewed the creator of Ham2K. The Portable Logger program has received an award. The Amateur Radio Software Award, ARSA Committee, is thrilled to announce the Ham2K Portable Logger, a groundbreaking project led by Sebastian Delmont, KI2D, has been selected as the winner of the 2025 Annual Amateur Radio Software Award. I wonder if Rich still has something to do with this. Usually he lets me know when these awards are doing that.
His signature's on the certificate.
Oh, well, very good. So why didn't you let me know, Rich?
Slacker.
Or us know. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, this award celebrates software projects that enhance amateur radio and promote innovation, freedom, and openness in amateur radio software development. Ham2K Portable Logger stood out among a competitive field of nominations for its transformative approach to field operations, designed with intuitive, user-friendly interfaces and a suite of convenient features. The software empowers operators to log, analyze, and share their on-the-go radio activities seamlessly. The award committee believes encouraging adventurous portable operations. Ham2K Portable Logger has redefined how enthusiasts engage with the hobby, whether for mountain summits, parks, or impromptu field setups. All right, ESPN, you can go away. Polo, short for Portable Logger, is a mobile application for amateur radio operators to log their contacts on the go. It is designed to be simple, fast, and easy to use, with a focus on the most important features for logging contacts. It supports multiple activation types such as POTA, SOTA, WWFF, which is Worldwide Flora and Fauna, Field Day, Winter Field Day, and many more. Sebastian Delmont, the project's lead developer, emphasized the community-driven ethos. He says, "I'm deeply honored to receive this award on behalf of the entire community behind the Ham2K project. We set out with the goal of pushing the boundaries of what good amateur software could be, and to do it through open source and community building. This recognition is an incredible validation that we're on the right track." And if you haven't checked out our episode on Ham2K, you should definitely do that. It was a few episodes ago, I think, 5 or 6, something like that. And we got all of the info from Sebastian about the project and everything. And I definitely think it is worthy of this award, personally. And obviously the ARSA feels the same way. So good on you, Sebastian and team. And look forward to future excellent development from Ham2K Portable Logger.
Yeah, and do you get a feeling that that whole thing was written by ChatGPT?
Well, I mean...
Just the way it's written, I was like, I kept on like, this sounds just like ChatGPT. At least, especially like that second and third paragraph. It's just like, really? Rich, come on. You could do better, man. We'll throw him under the bus, right?
Sure. Bill said it, Rich, not me. So
Yeah. By the way, where's that BSD in the Ham Shack? That's what we want to know.
exactly. Episode 2. The first one was what, like 8 years ago. So,
Yeah. With all the sound effects and whizzes and soundboard stuff. Boing. Okay, here we go.
all right. Well, a link to that story, of course, will be in the show notes, and Bill is going to catch us up on some stuff about Meshtastic.
Yeah, and this episode might not actually get out by Hamvention, but I have some extra stuff.
No, it will. It will.
Oh, okay.
I assure you, it will.
Okay, it'll get out early, right?
Yep.
All right, so Meshtastic, event firmware for Dayton Hamvention 2025. So this came from a Reddit post by user Meshtastic. Hey, go figure. On the Meshtastic subreddit. Last year's Mesh Chaos, we remember. This year, we're ready for it. We've created a special Meshtastic event firmware specifically for Dayton Hamvention 2025. Get ready in 2 easy steps. Flash your device at hamvention.meshtastic.org or scan the event QR code, which is in the post, so that's irrelevant for you. The event firmware includes hard-coded sensible defaults to help ensure mesh stability in the dense environments we see at events like Hamvention. These include blocks non-standard port numbers, disables public MQTT, caps hop limit at 3, and forces conservative telemetry node info intervals. Additionally, Dayton Hamvention firmware is configured with a preset for short turbo, that's 20 times bandwidth of long fast, channel 31, that's 917.25 megahertz, and 3 default channels of Hamvention, Node Chat, and Yard Sale. And for those of you that do not know what Meshtastic is or what I'm talking about, Meshtastic utilizes LoRa. It's a long-range radio protocol, which is widely accessible in most regions without the need for additional licenses or certifications, unlike ham radio operations. These radios are designed to rebroadcast messages they receive, forming a mesh network. This setup ensures that every group member, including those at the furthest distance, can receive messages, unless you're at Hamvention and it's capped to 3. Additionally, Meshtastic radios can be paired with a single phone, allowing friends and family to send messages directly to your specific radio. It's important to note that each device is capable of supporting a connection from only one user at a time. And links to the original article in Reddit is here in the show notes, as well as a link to Meshtastic. Have you ever messed around with the Meshtastic stuff?
No, it's something I've wanted to do, but have not gotten a chance to.
Yeah, my son has one, and he every time we go somewhere, he brings it in the car, and it's like a little HT with a little tiny screen on it with messages, and then he has a phone connected to it, so he can sit there and see, if he's hearing anybody, and he talks about several people that he can see in Billings, which is not a lot, I guess. And when we drove to Big Sky, I think he only saw one person in Bozeman when we rolled through there. But apparently, it's a kind of a neat little thing. I don't know how how I would utilize it, but there are many uses for it. And I would check it out if you haven't even looked at it before. Have a look at the site and kind of get that information about what Meshtastic is and how you can possibly utilize it. Like I say, it's not too popular in Billings, but we're not a huge town, so and Montana is definitely not representative of towns across America. So there you go.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe we can learn a little bit about it at Hamvention because they're obviously going to be there. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see. Somebody stop by the booth and show us your Meshtastic radio.
Absolutely. All right. Next on the docket here, we have Yaesu releases a successor to the FT818ND. This is from the perspective of Yaesu, of course. We are pleased to announce that we will launch the new HF50-144 430 MHz all-mode wide coverage SDR transceiver FTX series FTX-1 Field and FTX-1 Optima. The FTX-1 provides continuous wide-range receiver coverage from 30 kHz through 174 MHz and from 400 through 470 MHz, including SWL, FM broadcast, and airband. I was actually seeing these were on pre-order, and I didn't see what kind of prices we were looking at on them, but might be something I'd be interested in.
Expensive.
I'm sure. The FTX-1 provides continuous, no, I already said that. FTX-1 Field and FTX-1 Optima shares the field head, a field compact transceiver, 8.4 inches wide, 3.5 inches high, and 2.2 inches deep. The field is supplied with a 6,400 milliamp hour large capacity lithium ion battery. The Optima is supplied with a detachable 100 watt RF power amplifier, SPA1 for a base station, in addition to the SBR52Li lithium ion battery for field ops. By attaching the SBR52Li to the rear of the field head, the FTX-1 provides 6 watts for QRP, standalone operation on HF through VUHF bands in all modes, including FM and C4 FM digital. 9-hour standalone operating time with 6 watts on HF bands and 8-hour operating time with 6 watts on VUHF FM are available. 6648 duty cycle. This was definitely not written by ChatGPT.
Yeah, do your math.
The SBR52Li is rechargeable separately with a third party's USB Type-C PD cable, 45 watts or greater, 15 volts at 2 amps. When using the external 13.8 volt DC power supply, up to 10 watts of power output is available, and the field head charges the SBR52Li automatically. By connecting the SPA1 to the rear of the field head, the FTX-1 operates as a 100 watt base station. No tools are necessary for connection. And it probably still has like a DVI on the back for output.
That would be funny.
This, of course, came directly from Yaesu, and a link to the story will be in the show notes, of course. Maybe they should do something like, maybe it'll be like DID or something like that. Just
yeah,
have the largest possible connector.
Well, let's see. The FTX-1 Optima is showing on the Ham Radio Outlet site for $1899.95.
All right. So I will not have one.
But that gets you the 100 watt amplifier and everything else. So what's the other one? The FTX
For field.
Yeah, let's see. FTX-1. Let's just search for the field. $1499.95.
Whatever. I like my 710. I'm good with that for a while. So
yeah, the only thing I don't know, I mean, I'd be interested to see more information on that, whether it'll do VU split satellite operation properly. That would be the only thing I would like. If it could do that, then that would probably be a better option than, let's say, 105 or 705, possibly. Because I don't think that does the splits. I could be wrong. There might be a firmware update. I haven't messed with the 705 in a while. But I was going to say that this is, the competitor to the IC705. But I mean, technically, they've already had that 818 ND. It just didn't have the fancy fancier display like the 705 does. And so, I mean, like, they've already had a 6 watt, field radio that's been around, that started as the 817. And then they came out with the 817 ND, and then the 818 ND replaced that. So, but it's nice. It's nice that they have upgraded the radio.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. There's been kind of like a dearth of new things coming out of Yaesu over the last year or two. So I think the 710 was like the last thing, and then they had the FTM. Was it 500? I think the FTM 500 came out, but I don't think there's been much since that. So, but anyway, so moving on.
Moving on to open source.
To open source, yeah. Moving on to open source, and I guess since I did the last one, you can do the first one.
Absolutely. And hey, this is cool because it's building Legos with LLM, because we can never have enough LLM in our lives right now. A research team from Carnegie Mellon University built an AI model called Lego GPT that outputs valid Lego designs from text inputs. According to the team's research paper that's posted on GitHub, they trained an auto-aggressive large language model to predict the next brick to add to the next token prediction, end quote. But the key takeaway is that the AI LLM creates Lego designs from scratch. The AI was trained on a dataset with more than 47,000 Lego structures that build over 28,000 unique 3D objects, including bookshelves, tables, chairs, cars, ships, guitars, and more. Then this was then used to train the AI model, allowing it to create unique and original designs solely from text inputs. The tool is available for free on GitHub, and you can pair this with a computer vision model or image processing AI. For example, you can take a photo of your available Lego bricks and let the AI give you a multitude of options, unique options for building with what you already have. Well, that sounds like fun. I'm going to pour every Lego we have on the floor in my basement, which will probably cover the entire floor. I've had 3 kids go through Legos, and yeah, we've invested a lot. Yeah. So yeah, this looks like a fun way to use an LLM, and I believe this runs. If I remember correctly, this is running one of the Llama models. Let's see here. Yeah, the Llama 3.21b Instruct is the model, and yeah, it looks like it's built with the MIT license. And I believe there are some optional downloads that have different licenses, and that's what they're talking about, the image processing stuff. So that would be a different license. You'd have to check those to know what those are. But yeah, it's pretty cool that they've released this out to the public, including a model. So yeah, if you're interested in LLM and have a bunch of Legos at home, this might be up for you. And this came to us from Tom's Hardware, and I've also linked their GitHub in the show notes.
Yeah, very good. Now I'm waiting for the LLM that does Minecraft and can build things, including redstone machines, with a text prompt, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, it spins up a bot on your server, and then it just does work.
Well, that would be even cooler. But I wouldn't mind if it just created an image with like a breakdown and how to build it, and then I would build it myself. But either way.
There are already tools like that.
Oh, there are?
Yeah. Yeah, like you can definitely do ASCII art and 3D art or pixel art. You can definitely do pixel art. And I think there's an LLM that can build cityscapes from Google Maps.
Oh, that's wild. I'm going to have to find out more about those things.
Yeah, there is. I've run across that already, and that's probably been improved since I've read it, because I'm pretty sure that was about 6 months ago that I ran across that. It just didn't make the pile for our story content.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah, Darren wants to know if you have to photograph each Lego individually.
Yeah, that would be great, right? I have 3 of these and 1 of these and 2 billion of these.
Darren needs a tutorial on chunk loading.
Well, they sort of broke chunk loading in 121.5. So apparently it'll all be fixed again in 121.6, but they're not going to patch it until then. So some of the chunk loaders broke and some break easier than others. So the one that I have on top of the Iron Farm is probably the one that still sort of works, but when the server restarts, it breaks.
So unfortunate. Well, I guess we'll just have to upgrade to 121.6 when it comes out, obviously.
Yeah, so that'll be in a few months. So for now, AFK.
Right. All right. Well, let's move on from LLMs and move into open source software tools for smart legal contracts. The Accord Project is a nonprofit collaborative initiative developing an ecosystem and open source tools for smart legal contracts. Open source means that anyone can freely use and contribute to development. Oh, this is totally ChatGPT.
Well, yeah, of course it is. It's another LLM where I was going to make this all AI stuff.
Smart agreements promise to reduce friction and transaction costs in the creation and management of contracts and commercial relationships. Enabling this future requires the necessary tools to format, share, execute, and manage legally enforceable machine-readable agreements. Everyone's worried about people plagiarizing stuff by using ChatGPT. It's so obvious when AI writes stuff. It's just
This is actually copied from their website. So this is the Accord Project's landing page.
Right,
so,
which was obviously auto-generated.
Probably was. I mean, so is their product. The whole product is basically a LLM as well for doing contract generation.
Yeah. The Accord Project establishes and maintains a technology-neutral foundation for smart legal contracts. The goal is to provide universal technology. See, it's already repeating itself, so this is auto-generated. The goal is to provide universal technology and tooling that introduces a common format for smart agreements, reducing the need to adopt and learn different technologies and future-proofing templates. enables sharing and reuse of agreement templates, facilitates the use of executable agreements across any infrastructure, cloud, blockchain, IoT, interoperates with any distributed ledger and blockchain platform today and in the future, provides domain-specific functionality, meaning it is purposely designed and engineered for building and running commercial agreements, not generic applications. Okay, so that story sucked. Just forget we even read it.
Oh, it was open source though. I was like,
But
more
just because
LLM
it's open source doesn't mean we have to talk about it.
I know, but it's still, it's gonna take over everything. So might as well just settle into it. Next thing we know, we'll just be clicking a play button, and we won't even be here, right? It can come up with its own set of bad stories that it can complain about.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, anyway, that was a nothing thing. So let's talk about something that actually is kind of important. And Bill, you can tell us about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is not AI. Of course, who knows? Maybe some of the code commits. But anyway, Linux dropping 486 support. The Linux kernel is dropping support for the Intel 486 and early Pentium processors with the release of the Linux kernel 6.15. which is expected to be officially released by the end of May or early June 2025. This move, proposed by Linus Torvalds and supported by senior kernel developer Ingo Molnar, I'm sorry I screwed that up, aims to streamline the kernel and improve performance on modern systems by removing around 15,000 lines of code related to these older CPUs. Those are footnotes. This is definitely AI summary anyway. Key points. Support removal. Linux kernel 6.5 will no longer support the kernel or the Intel 486 CPUs and similar processors, including the IDT Win chip, the AMD Elon family. Yay, Elon! Due to their inability to meet modern performance and instruction requirements. For performance and stability, the removal of the support for these older CPUs is expected to enhance performance and stability for modern systems by eliminating old workarounds and simplifying the kernel. Basically, as they do their CI/CD on the kernel, they've run across issues as they've been trying to improve it with these older areas of the code because they're probably constantly breaking stuff, and so they have to go back and do fixes. This kind of reminds me of breaking tests when you have a bunch of tests in your code and you're like, I only needed to add this one thing, but now I got to rewrite all these tests. Yeah, same thing. Impact on users. This change primarily affects niche projects, emulators, or embedded systems using 486 level chips. Everyday users and developers running systems built after the late 1990s will not be impacted. Historical context, the 486 processor, for those of you who are just born, launched in 1989 and was the first x86 chip to integrate a floating point unit and a full 32-bit architecture. It was officially supported by Microsoft until Windows XP in 2001, while Linux continued to support it for another 2 decades. Alternative projects, while Linux is dropping support, other projects like NetBSD have recently re-added software floating point units, or whatever, FPU, floating point unit support, focusing on a broader compatibility with old and new hardware. So they have timeline in here, 2022, Linus Torvalds first proposed dropping the support. In 2025, the proposal is being implemented for the release. And let's see, anything else? Blah, blah. Nobody cares. This decision reflects the ongoing evolution of Linux kernel, prioritizing modern hardware or software advancements while phasing out support for legacy systems. And this is kind of a compilation of a couple articles, one from the Register and one from Ars Technica, and several others as well, because everybody's talking about it. And also, you can go into the mailing list, and you can actually see the post and the change log for this particular cleanup. So it's coming. It's going to be out there soon. So expect that your 486 will not boot on the latest kernel.
I would expect that you'd not be booting 486s at this point, but we know it still happens. So
yeah. Funny enough.
All right. Well, that actually brings us down to the end of our stories for this episode. So we should get on with announcements and feedback. I feel like I had a piece of feedback, but I don't have it in front of me. Give me a second just to make sure. Okay, no, I don't have anything in email, so I guess if there is anything, I'll pick it up in the next episode for sure.
Cool.
But as far as announcements, obviously, we just like to put it out there that if you could help us on the show financially at all, that would be wonderful. For sometimes as little as less than $2 per month helps out the show quite a bit. You can do that through Patreon, PayPal, by buying merch, and you can also subscribe on YouTube. We keep talking about doing YouTube stuff, and we may actually at some point.
One day.
One day, yes, there'll be the tubes. And finally, we have the new subscriber, supporters, and live participants list for this time around. And we skip down to Twitter. We had @_trip1. On Instagram, we had DD9HK. On Mastodon, @DA6TA. @STWF_NMS. And @F4LTV. On Discord, we had KE8FVU Tizoid, who's in the live chat tonight, so we'll mention you again here in a second. And Jakey, DJOEKE. Thanks for joining us over there in Discord. And in the live chat tonight, we had Tyler, KE8FVU, Darren, VK60K, Mike, K6GTE, Steve, KJ5T, and 6, KI5FQQ. So thanks, everybody, for being here for the live show, or if you're not here in the live show and just listening post-episode release, thanks again for that. And extra special thanks to all of those of you who are financial supporters of the show. They help keep the lights on, and we really appreciate it. And this episode, as I already said, will be coming out before Hamvention. So if you hear it before Hamvention, hopefully we'll see you there. And if you don't hear it till afterwards, well, hopefully we saw you there. And with that, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this one up and let you get on to the business of your day or whatever it was you were doing before you started listening to this. And we hope you'll catch us the next time we record or the next time an episode comes out. And until then, have a good one. And for the on assignment, Cheryl, W5MOO, this has been episode number 580 of Linux in the Ham Shack. I'm Russ, K5TUX.
And I'm Bill. Bill, NE4RD, 73.
Are you sure you're Bill?
Maybe. I think so.
Did you forget for a second?
Yeah, I just got a brain fart. Do I say my call sign first or do I say my name first? I hate that. I was like, I'm saying it out of order. I don't even know anymore. Just want to go to bed.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a community-sponsored podcast. Live recordings are Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Central Time. Our homepage can be found at lhspodcast.info. You can support the podcast via Patreon at patreon.com/LHS Podcast. We're also on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Mastodon. Contact us via email at info@lhspodcast.info or via voicemail at 190954777469. That's 1909 LHS Show. We also have merch. So until next we meet, remember to always heed your hedonism.